Cheers, Rob. Thank you for coming. Jay,
Mhm.
thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk tech. We're going to talk AI. We're going to talk cloud computing. We're going to talk security, compliance. We're going to talk everything Expedient and everything Expedient's doing to transform the IT experience from a buyer perspective, from both a managed and a deliver on their own perspective. You guys own data centers, so you got data center play too as well.
Yep.
And so I really want to dig in, Rob. But first, I need to get to know you.
Yep.
So if you could share with the people here, and then
Sure.
also with cameras, exactly who you are,
Yep.
why you're in the role, and why you believe in Expedient as a company, and where you see the vision going.
Sure. Thanks, Randy.
That's
So I'm Rob Ward with Expedient. I work in the Southeast primarily and have clients in Texas. I've been with Expedient for 10 years. I spent 22 in telecommunications, which I know you guys are familiar with. Yeah. So who is Expedient? Expedient is an award-winning 24-year-old infrastructure as a service provider. So we have a lot of stuff that clients come and take little bites of and use from us. The way that looks across the U.S. is we operate and maintain 15 data centers. They're ours. So we're not third party to some other provider, right? They're our electricians, our facility engineers. So 15 data centers, and co-location service is still alive and well, especially with some repatriation that's going on. People are moving workloads out of hyperscale cloud, AWS, Azure, Google, and bringing it back on-prem, or they're looking for providers like us to outsource it to. So co-location with 15 data centers, and then we run our own VMware and Nutanix cloud platforms in those 15 data centers around the country. So
awesome. And that is a managed hosted model.
it is.
So they can do it themselves, or you guys have the interface and ability to where you guys can co-manage it.
That's
or
right.
You'll manage it fully.
You know, yeah, good question, Randy. So we build that infrastructure. It's 24 node clusters, highly available, built for a 100% uptime guarantee. If we're down, we're writing credits, and we're not in the business of writing credits. We're for profit. So we do everything we can to keep you guys up and running. So we manage that infrastructure. We have it in our data centers. We're there 24/7, watching it, highly available, 100% uptime. So we give our clients access to that equipment, that hypervisor, just like it's sitting in their office, on their premise, in their own data center. So they're connecting to us through layer 2, layer 3 services, or just the World Wide Web. And then that data is encrypted in flight and at rest, and we become that outsourced infrastructure. So co-management, yeah, there's big value there. We give clients access to the hypervisor. They can make moves, adds, and changes on their own to their virtual workloads. Or if they're down in Gulf Shores or Pensacola, we were talking about Pensacola earlier, and they're at the beach, they can call us and we'll make moves, adds, and changes on their behalf at no charge. So they have access to the environment, and we have access to the environment. We become an extension of their IT team.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
that's
I
right.
think that's key, the extension of the IT team.
Yep, yep.
So you mentioned all three. You mentioned those guys that have it on-prem still.
Yep.
You mentioned public cloud,
Yes, sir.
Azure, Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
The infrastructure as a service. So now that physical managed solution, why would someone choose that over a public cloud? A couple ideas?
Yeah, so what I've seen over the past like 36 months is clients threw workload into hyperscale cloud, and then the chickens came home and the billing started to multiply about 18 months later. And so now clients are calling timeout, and they're looking at each specific workload and the characteristics of that application, and determining whether or not that would be a good workload to run in hyperscale cloud, and that hyperscale cloud characteristic, or with a VMware or Nutanix cloud platform provider like Expedient. What they get back from us that they're seeking, the value propositions that pop up are the pricing. We don't charge egress fees, right? That's what hyperscale cloud, they're charging egress, and it makes the bills fluctuate pretty wildly from month to month. It's a steady bill from month to month from us, and the performance is top notch. It's the best hardware that money can buy, all flash storage, no spinny disk, anything like that. So,
Yeah, please.
Well, one other question along with that. So
yeah.
AI analytics on that private, do you provide anything around that?
Yeah, yeah. So AI has been a big topic recently. I don't ask, the question isn't, are you considering it? We're asking, where are you in doing whatever you're going to do? And that's usually, they're usually down the road some, or they're considering it. So we have, Expedient has developers in house, and we're not a big builder. We usually just buy stuff and wrap our people, processes, and procedures around it and offer it as a service. But we built a secure AI gateway that we're selling. It's actually, knock on wood, it's flying off the shelves pretty well. And a lot of people are interested in how to implement private, secure AI in the enterprise and control it and manage it um, across their employee set versus everyone doing something individually on their own.
So it was interesting talking to Brad, your CSO, Chief Strategy Officer, spending time with him, which I really like. Brian, just an amazing mind too, as well. They're
Yeah,
both genuine. They both have been a part of the business. Brad was one of the founders,
he was.
and he was young. I mean, he was talking to me about the going back in all of the tech nerd out mindsets that he had when he was growing up.
Yeah.
And then by 22, he's building a data center company.
Yep.
And then he leaves and does other software. And now he's back at it. But his passion and the company's passion is taking the entire strategy and building into a story and wrapping management around it. I think when you think hyperscale, someone's got to come in and manage it.
Yes.
And so when you think hyperscale, you go, okay, I got to manage my IT team.
That's right.
Who's my backup bar or MSP that's going to manage that with me? What is my price point? How do I scale and manage all of that?
Yeah.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Yep.
And so you got this managed side of this, and you got this mindset of Brad, let's build the data centers. Let's get more hands around clients better. I'll tell you one thing that's really cool about this story with Expedient that, I've again built one of the most successful cloud companies is that your guys' mindset and your leadership has stayed together for so long and they're passionate about the client. And that passion is now adding innovation. So it was like build the data centers. Okay, now we're going to build upon that.
Yep.
You got big data center companies that are innovating.
Yep.
So it's kind of you have a unique mix of this overall story that I'm really intrigued by because I think Expedient has a higher ceiling than almost any company that I know out there because you are so integrated. Your executive team is so strong.
Yep.
You guys have been together and your AI gateway and your ability to touch on that, your ability to do ML and AI in your environments and the way you're going with that is going to be truly amazing.
Yep.
So, I mean, maybe you could speak a little bit into when you talk about this entire cycle of managed services over your compute or on hyperscale.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What is the differentiator the client should expect experience-wise when managed versus a co-managed?
Yeah.
Meaning they're managing some, you're a backup to it, which is something that Expedient does really well.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about Brian and Brad, really smart people, I've watched our leadership foresee and kind of look ahead down the road and see where the market is going and get it right. Um, so kudos for calling that out. So what Brian and Brad have rolled out, and it's really those two guys, is here's the new market. We want to move to a cloud platform because of the value propositions associated with cloud consumption, whatever those are. And so our reply versus do you want that to be VMware or do you want that to be Nutanix? What type of cloud would you like to run on? We just want to know, do you want to move to the cloud? And now,
hold on, one comment. I'm going to say this because VMware is like
it's a bad, it's a tough,
it's been like the worst name in
it's
the
a
industry
disruption.
because it
Yes.
completely disrupted people's bonuses.
I threw away all of my
in
my
2024.
VMware stuff.
I mean, people
It's
are
gone.
like, get out of here.
All my stuff's gone.
It's been a nightmare.
Yeah.
So how is it when do they see that licensing difference with you? Because VMware has a completely different program for
Yeah.
Expedient because of the type of buy model
Yeah.
than they
Yeah.
do for an end client.
Yeah. So hyperscale control, what we're doing, let me answer that question first, is a client says we want to move to the cloud, and now we can move them to AWS, Azure, Google, or run workloads on VMware or run workloads on Nutanix. So we're taking care of wherever that platform needs to run to get the best bang for their buck and the best performance. That's hyperscale control. Yeah. And then what was your other question, Randy? I lost
No,
it again.
I think we were going with the strategy around that managed versus unmanaged, and how that plays out with Brad and Brian's vision of bringing people that are frustrated with, I'm going to go to the cloud as a primary.
Yeah.
Then they start overspending.
Yep.
And then they go, wait a second, now I'm getting my bonuses taken away. I can't control this.
Yeah.
So how do I get a more controlled environment? CFOs are starting to get more intelligent on it.
Yeah.
They're starting to say, how do I manage this better? So what's that look like from your guys' perspective? What do the teams look like? An example, if I buy from you, who's my account manager?
Yep.
Where's the person doing my QBRs? What's the mindset of my engagement? Who's thinking about optimization on my environment, in my environment with me?
Yep. So one of the top 3 reasons I stay with Expedient for 10 years and on is our delivery process and then support after the sale. It is top notch. And I could go work for 1111 Flex Tier Point. I could go work for those companies. And we do it really well. So great client support. We stay really close to our client regarding account team. In the Southeast, as we pick up clients, I and the solution architect and the team behind me, we stay that local point of contact. We actually provide our leadership all the way to Brian Smith cell phone numbers to get in contact with us. So very transparent, very close relationship with our client base. We don't have the same tools that Procure IT went over earlier.
Yeah.
So that you would be filling gaps, right? Clients ask us those questions. We get close to it, but we don't hit it like you guys do on a month-to-month basis. We catch them optimizing them coming in, and then how they optimize their environment going forward. That your tools would step into that place.
Issue. It's like,
Yeah.
I can source it, deliver it, and optimize on the front end, but who's going to manage optimization for the rest of that contract?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that look like? And then if you have a growth cycle or you go downturn, how do you manage that?
Yep.
And a lot of times people are trying to hit their bonuses at the end of the year. They're going, okay, where are the areas that I can clip off that maybe executives have told me to keep, but I'm going back and saying, by the way, I need to clip this off because it doesn't make sense. So they call them like the sidecar. We got to go back to the sidecar and address that sidecar issue at the end of the year, so we don't go into next year spending that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
So I've got a question because I still have a lot of customers who still have on-prem. They're looking for not only just backup, but disaster recovery.
Yep.
Do y'all provide that as well?
We do. So there are 2 or 3 things that we do outside of the data center only, right? The majority of what we do is actually inside the 4 walls of our data center. But we do provide a lot of, so I have a lot of clients where I'm only providing disaster recovery as a service, and they have access to it from a co-management standpoint. They engage our people. We help them test. If they open a ticket with the Operations Support Center, we're there for them. We'll open a conference bridge. They join, we watch it happen together. So yes, we're providing managed backups and disaster recovery at the same time. For clients who are running their workloads on-prem, have their own data center, and they intend to stay that way for a little while, yes, we can create geographic redundancy, replicate those machines out of their data center into our infrastructure. It's a big part of our business.
One other thing, I have a few customers. So desktop as a service.
Yep.
You provide that as well?
We do not.
You do not?
We got out of it, actually,
Okay.
when Horizon did what they did.
Okay.
Yeah, we dropped it.
Yeah,
VMware, can't do it well, we let it go.
VMware let go of that. Let go of that product set. So you have to go Citrix only. And so, I mean, with the way the hyperscalers have gone around that product set, it's pretty unique. And then also with the way that everything's gone to the class, it's gone to the SaaS application, gone to the cloud. So you're not going to use virtual desktop like you used to. So there's some certain subsets of it, but it's definitely not what it used to be as an overall product set. And so, yeah, I mean, it's something you guys started to eliminate. Is there any questions you guys have? Expedient, I mean, everything cloud, you can think about Maybe one comment I'll ask before we go is maybe security and compliance that you guys have would be valuable
Yeah.
to share. And
Yeah.
then, do you have any questions before he answers that? Ryan? Okay.
Yeah, it's a big part of discussions, security and compliance. So 10 years here, last year we gathered up all of our compliances, all of our attestations, and put them out in one site, trust.expedient.com, and it's all there in one spot, which is just like whoever marketing did that was fantastic. So yeah, but yeah, PCI compliant, European law, everything that our clients are looking for items that we can control.
Yeah.
So we're a business associate regarding HIPAA law and PCI compliant. Give our SOC 2 report to our clients with an NDA. Absolutely. We have two CISOs on staff to help in those matters, security and compliance. It's in every discussion, right? It's in
Yeah,
every
it
conversation.
frankly cannot be when you're talking
Yeah.
cloud and application
Yep.
delivery. Okay, Rob, thank you very much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Rain.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.